That probably got like right there.
Mm.
Thanks for really throwing my head way out of that one. Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Gaming at the Round Table with Maverick, Crystal, and myself, JoJo. We got a few topics today. Mav, you can kind of lead us in.
Sure. So for episode 9, we've got a few quick monthly games to just talk about a little bit. We'll list the ones that we don't know much about, but we have a couple that we've tried. So PS5 monthly games, if you're a PS Plus subscriber, which basically means do you play online when you play PlayStation? If yes, you're probably a PS Plus subscriber. So they have Immortals of Avium, and we know that Crystal's been playing that. They have Minecraft Legends, which I was interested in, but I haven't tried. Crystal tried it.
I've played it. I beat it actually.
Minecraft Legends?
It's okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so you guys can talk about that one. And I'm currently doing a review for Skull, the Hero Slayer, which is the third free monthly game for the PlayStation Plus subscription. And that video will probably be out prior to the release of this podcast, so something to look forward to. Same for the Immortals game. So let's just go down that list. Tell us initial impressions. What is Immortals of Avium?
It's kind of hard to explain what the game is. I can tell you, you use 3 different kinds of magic: red, blue, and green. You're basically fighting in a giant war. I'm really bad at summarizing games. However, I can tell you that overall it's super solid. There are some issues that where it saves, you like lag a little bit. But the game story is so interesting that it keeps drawing me back in to want to put more and more hours into it. Now the skill difficulty is pretty up there. I'm on not the easiest, but the, I guess, normal mode, if you will. And I died.
What type of game is it? From what I recall, it was like you could see their hands, third person.
Yeah, it's a first person.
No, it's first person.
Person or first person? First person. Okay. It's a first person. I guess I don't want to say shooter because it's not a shooter, but you have magic and you shoot magic out of your hands. And then you also have like chains that you use and a lot of different abilities and different gear that you could swap out. But you still have the same base skills, if that makes sense. So like if you shoot out green orbs and you put on a different green weapon, you're always going to shoot out green orbs, just at a different pace or at a different interval. So I would say it's a first person shooter.
So when I saw it, it reminded me of the old Turok games where they're sort of...
That's taking it back to N64.
Yeah, but the idea was it was this gritty, ancient but magical civilization setting, like visually. And the control scheme was where you could see your hands and you could, do things with them, shoot or shield or whatever. So to keep it kind of brief, because obviously you're doing a review on this, I think.
I am.
For people who have the subscription, it's free for them. Free. Do you recommend trying it out?
Absolutely.
You sound so nervous. Oh.
Well, the only reason why I hesitate on that is because if you're not a fan of games that are difficult with puzzles that are also difficult, obviously stay away from it. However, I love puzzles and I love games that are just challenging enough for me. So I would say go for it. Oh, I forgot. There is an easier mode than what I'm playing on. There is a story mode, which will allow you to easily get through things, which I guess, go for it if you're interested in a Magic War game.
Magic War. Got it. Yeah. Next up, we had Minecraft Legends. I know you tried it out, and it wasn't your cup of tea, Crystal. But Joe said he beat it, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he didn't freaking hate the game.
So to give probably why she didn't like it is because a lot of people play Minecraft and don't really associate it with it being an RPG in the strict sense of like you pick a character, you develop your character, get stronger, and then play the game. So Minecraft actually had two different takes on RPGs. The first one was Minecraft Dungeons, which I played with my kids. I've actually played both with my kids, which is how I ended up beating it. Not that I chose like, hey, let me play this game completely on my own. Minecraft Dungeons of the two, I could play it on my own and just kind of kill time on it as a friendlier version of like a dungeon crawler. Whereas Minecraft Legends is a more again stricter version of an RPG where you have a storyline to follow and progress through it with allowing you some freedom to kind of do it how you want.
Gameplay
Um,
wise, how does it play?
the mechanics are a bit funky to figure out at first, which
That
is
was my
probably
issue.
what bothered Crystal because it took me, I would say, well into the tutorial type thing to figure it out and be proficient at it because it's not the general just pick up a weapon and start hack and slash like the other version. This one again is a lot more linear, I guess is the best way to put it. But again, it was enjoyable to play with the kids. Jaden, my son, really enjoyed the story of it and how it progressed in the little cutscenes. But again, if you're looking for a serious RPG or something like that, it's definitely not that. It's again a more just you're not trying to overly think.
What so what is the actual big picture gameplay mechanics? So we just talked about how Immortals is effectively a first person shooter. Like at its core, it's a first person shooter.
So I'm trying to think of the best game to compare it to or say that it's like, but essentially you are the commander of a legion of Minecraft soldiers. And as you progress in the game, you unlock different ones like the creeper, stone golems, things like that. And then you have to fortify towns and prevent them from being attacked by the what are the pigs called? Well, the angry pigs is what
Pigments?
I'll call
Orcs.
them.
Who knows?
But there's different versions of them, and as you beat certain ones, they send a new one, and then there's bosses inside of it.
Let me
So
interject for a second. This sounds a lot like the RTS category where you have like StarCraft, Command and Conquer, uh, what's another famous one, where you're kind of looking down on a civilization. No? So you're
I
controlling
wouldn't
an
say it's that
army.
because you're controlling an army, but you're also playing and battling with them.
Oh,
So you have to attack fortifications or like the pig bases, and you have to take out certain fortifications as you move in. I'm trying to think of the best thing that I can compare it to,
so you're,
but it's not the straightforward just like, hey, I'm the hero, let me charge into a
yeah.
base. You have to pick certain units to attack a base that do certain different things, and you get different golems. Like one of them can launch rocks from like a mile away. Another one heals a group.
What's the camera
It's again,
perspective for well as you're playing?
it's a mix between. I wouldn't say it's third. Was it third person? It's been a little bit since I played, but I would say it's inside of the third person
Okay.
realm.
Yeah.
And again, it's not what people may think it is because again, they're probably looking at it as a typical like RPG, but it's not. Whereas their version of an RPG was Minecraft Dungeons. This one is a standalone in and of itself.
Okay. So based on the notion that you beat the game, in some fashion, we can presume that you recommend it, but is there a particular niche you recommend it to?
I mean, it's hard to like pinpoint it into one because there. I would say it's a strategy type game, but it's a strat. Could you say a strategy RPG?
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? Gears of War. Is it Gears of War strategy? There's a Gears of War strategy game, and I guess that's the best thing that I can compare it to. Like I'll try to Google the name of it right now, but that's the game that I can think of that's similar in mechanics.
did you feel that it was simplistic enough for your kids to play it, or did you feel it was a little bit more geared towards like teen to early adult?
I wouldn't say it's for 9. I'd say it's probably 10 and up. It'd be a good range where they can kind of figure it out. I mean, there are kids that could play it under that, but I think 10 and up would be the pocket range.
Mm-hmm.
Upwards to like 15, I think it'd be the cutoff when a kid would get probably not overly interested in it.
Okay. So that covers Minecraft Legends. I think I'll have to Google it because I wasn't trying to badger you there. I'm trying to visualize a non-Minecraft game. Next time I'll look it up beforehand. I haven't played it, obviously. So the third on the list for the PlayStation ones is Skull, Skul, The Hero Slayer. It's a story about a little skull boy, tiny little guy. And it is a 2D side-scroller action Castlevania feeling. I guess it's not an RPG. It's a roguelite. You die a lot, and then you get upgrades, so it makes it easier until you get to the same boss you've lost 30 times to, and you die again. So 100% a roguelite and really enjoyable. I think the story that they have on it is cute. Good is kind of subjective. I think it's good in that it's what you expect it to be, and that's okay for the genre. With the repeat loop, I won't go too into it, but basically, if you like games like Hades or just roguelites in general, it's for sure something people are going to be interested in. The quality's excellent. The controls are very responsive. The random, so this is a cute aspect I'll talk about. The skull can actually remove his literal skull. He's a skeleton, and pick up a different skull and put it on, and it transforms him into whatever that skeleton's abilities were. So like if he picked up a minotaur's head, put it on, then he'd do like a ram attack and stuff like that. So that aspect of it is actually really fun. And the whole story is, I would say, cute, but it's hard to talk about a roguelite being cute because it's just combat and death over and over. But the aesthetic is very cute and quaint. I would recommend it for basically anyone that likes roguelites, regardless of their age bracket. I think it's fun. But if you don't like roguelites, it is at its core that, and you're not going to find enjoyment out of it just because it has, an art style you might like or whatever. If you don't like that loop of go, try, get as far as you can, get killed, restart, if that's not for you, the game's not for you, just hands down. So I think Crystal was out.
I'm out.
I died in the first, I guess, portal that you go through. And I was like, I just started the game. What do you mean I'm already dead? Like, what? And then I tried again because, I played it for about 2 hours. And I don't think I made it anywhere. I just kept dying because I'm really bad at those kinds of
I
games.
think the devastating part about roguelites for me is that as you get better, you get way further, but when you die, they still start you back at the beginning. You still have to kill the first boss and the second boss and the third boss. And it's just like, oh, please. It's just a time sink at that point. And that's true across the board. So I can't fault that for any one game. It's just, that's the tough part for me. Joe, have you played a roguelite in the last few years? Maybe Hades?
Hades, I saw it because it had such high reviews and so many people were talking about it. But once I saw the type of game, I knew I wouldn't enjoy it. So I'm one of those people that if I just don't enjoy that type of mechanic, there's been rare occasions where I'll try a game like that, and because it has something else, I can kind of stick to it.
Yeah.
But I've tried to avoid those games for quite some time.
It's funny because you guys will play some of the more famous first-person shooters, and I can't play a game whose 99% at its core a PvP kill each other game. I just don't enjoy it because either I'm winning and I'm not playing with my friends, or I'm playing with my friends and I'm losing because they're all better than me. And so I don't know. It's just not for me. tangent aside,
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
the only I can say for a game like that, the only one I cannot play is, I believe it's For Honor. That is a
Yeah,
PvP game. I cannot.
that's the
Oh,
one that kind
I
of
can't
looks.
play it.
It's a medieval theme, and
It's multiple. It's like Viking,
oh
samurai.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a couple.
I do know the game you're talking about though.
I cannot. Oh no, I can't play it for more than
To
an
me, it
hour.
looked like a Souls game with multiple like back in time themes. So, like you said, Vikings, knights, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the Epic Game Store also this month, April, has Destiny 2 Into the Light for free. And so go grab it. If you all you have to do is get the Epic Game Stores downloaded on your computer, and then you can just.
Do we know if that is a, what do you call it, a patch, or if that is the like actual game?
I think it's the actual game, or that no, Into the Light might be their newer.
So
I'll look it up right
let's cheat and Into the Light. The thing with Destiny is that it always has major releases. Like their marketing is very good, but it's hard to keep track of what's an expansion in the traditional, like you purchase this thing versus what's just a huge patch.
now. I think they're one of the few games that's currently out that still has, not seasons, but you just said it. Now my brain's
It's a major update, or an expansion pack. You mean?
expansion pack. Yeah.
So the way I'm reading it on the web right here is that it looks to be an expansion that just doesn't cost money, from what I can tell. And so if you're playing Destiny 2, or you used to play Destiny 2, or you just looking to try something out with your friends, this is a good game to try that out. Destiny 2 has a good reputation. Well, I shouldn't say good. It has a long-standing reputation, some good, some bad, and it's new, something to play, and it's free. So try it out. The other Epic Games game that's free this month is Ghost Runner, and that's free until the 18th. So depending on when this podcast comes out, that may be replaced by two other games called The Big Con and The Town of Salem, which are, I don't think those are AAA games. I'm pretty sure they're smaller companies. But Ghost Runner was interesting to see. I want to see if I can get it up here. So Ghost Runner is a game that came out in 2020. You guys have probably seen it in passing. It's the logo is like the steampunk looking guy with a helmet on and a jacket with a hood on top, and he's got like a steampunk looking sword on his back. It actually looks pretty fun. I'm planning on trying it out before it's no longer free on the Epic Game Store. So something to check out. And an upcoming release hype. This is just a general topic. Star Wars Outlaws is advertising itself. It's not coming out this month, but the hype is starting to buzz in April. So Star Wars fans obviously will be excited about Star Wars Outlaws, but more importantly, Star Wars Outlaws is saying that it's going to be the first open world Star Wars game.
Ooh.
Which I find very confusing because I used to play a couple of Star Wars games, including Knights of the Old Republic and some other MMO as well. And they felt pretty expansive. Like you can walk around the world. So
Yeah, but
It
those are
might be
MMOs.
because the way that I'm looking at it being explained is it's the first ever open world Star Wars game set between the events of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So that might be why they're saying the first in that. And like the newer stuff, because again, the Old Republic and things like that, obviously that's been established. But I think they're meaning it towards that and on system. Because none of those games I think were ever on. Maybe no, I don't think they were on the new systems.
I think the definition of open world is pretty loose too. People are like, well, can you walk around and not have to instance into dungeons every 2 seconds? Then it's open world and you can like explore. So maybe that's what they mean. So I don't know.
Because I mean, I played Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and I enjoyed it. I didn't play the newer version of it, but that looks similar aesthetically from what I can see.
It's a shame that the lighting in your room right now, Joe, is not as vibrant as usual, because I was going to make a joke about I had no idea you like Star Wars with your Boba Fett helmet in the background and a stormtrooper helmet there on the shelf.
It's a lightsaber that's lit up.
Exactly. Right along the top of the shelf there for anyone who's listening as opposed to watching the podcast. So, yeah. What about you, Crystal? You love Star Wars, right? 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 Right?
Um, I don't dislike Star Wars. I just am not the biggest fan. I would go to a Star Wars movie in the movie theater in a heartbeat, but I'm not gonna like play the games or
Yeah.
anything. It's not really my
It's a
go-to. Like I couldn't even get into what was the one that was on Disney Plus?
The
Oh, yeah,
Mandalorian.
yeah.
Yeah. We tried. I think we watched like 3 or 4 episodes and we couldn't get into it.
It's one of those things. If you're not into the overarching world, it's hard to like get into. And then like, there's some people that can't watch Game of Thrones,
Mm.
and everybody, and I'm air quoting, everybody's seen it, but not everybody's into it.
Yeah.
So I think that's an example of that.
I've played Star Wars games, and I like the games more than I like the franchise of the movies, ironically. Yeah.
I did play that
Oh,
racing one.
Pod
Pod
Racer.
Racers.
The classic.
Yeah, that one was good.
Man, that was so good.
And 64 coming back up again.
You know, it's a
Yeah.
great game when I don't like the entire genre of racing game. And I absolutely love Pod Racer. Fantastic game. Okay, moving on. So that's something we'll keep our ears out and talk about it again in the future when more information comes out, but it is buzzing this month, so I wanted to mention it. All right, so this next one has me excited. So in the Godot, which is the game engine that that we're already using for our game development, the Godot game engine, a while back there was some drama with Unity, which is one of the major 3 game engines, and Unity's CE. I'm going to fast forward. Basically, they did some underhanded stuff, and after shaking and moving, things have settled down, but they really lost a lot of credit in the indie industry. And so a lot of people were disgusted by that and moved to other game engines, Unreal, Godot, whatever else they wanted. So there's an indie game hit you guys have probably heard of. It's called Slay the Spire. And the developer name is skipping me right now. But Slay the Spire is actually really successful. And Slay the Spire developer team or development team, I feel bad because I don't remember the name of their dev team.
The developer was Mega Crit Games.
That sounds right. Yeah, so Mega Crit was like, all right, we're done with Unity. And the next game, whatever that game that might be, we're going to go use some other engine. And they solidified that this month in an announcement saying that the sequel to Slay the Spire, Slay the Spire 2, was announced as going to be made, and not just made, but made by the Godot engine. So that's fantastic news for the Godot community, which includes us. And it is very exciting because it's not just going to be, hey, here's a developer using this engine. It's here's an established, successful indie that released games across, the major hitters, that's now going to be using this for an already established franchise. They're literally shifting to it. So if they have success with that, it's going to be a great win for Godot, get more publicity out, and more developers expanding its capabilities, which means better games will be made and better tools for game makers. I'm nerding out real hard about this, but it's very exciting for the game dev side of stuff. Mm-hmm. So the last couple topics we have are, April, BAFTA Game Awards went out. I didn't watch it because I was working, but there are a couple of major announcements. Drum roll, no surprise here. Best game went to Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, buddy.
I really gotta check it out.
You really do.
It's so good.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
so good. And
It really is.
Is it cross-platform? I don't remember.
I think it is.
I don't think
Initially, it wasn't. I don't think.
Even if it isn't cross-platform, it is on basically every platform, and we can all play together. It's fantastic, and the multiplayer is really good too. Or actually, I've only ever played it multiplayer. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
Yeah, it says it's on Xbox now.
oh, yay, Xbox! Rumor monger news: the Xbox supposedly might not be continuing to make Xboxes, or Microsoft. I don't really know how much credence there is to this rumor, but I think the notion was some high up corporate guy was like, if we don't make enough subscriptions by X day, then we're just not going to make Xboxes anymore because they don't make money, which would be crazy.
Joke's on them. They're going to still make a system. It's just not going to be called
Right?
Xbox.
Yeah. So BAFTA Awards, Game of the Year went to Baldur's Gate 3. And
well deserved.
Mario Super Bros. Wonder took Best Multiplayer. And I'd never heard of Super Mario Bros. Wonder before. And so since it won Best Multiplayer, I figured it'd be something worth mentioning here. And I want to pull that up real quick. Super Bros. What is it? Mario Super Bros. Wonder. It starts with Mario. Like it.
While you're looking that up, I'm reading something. It says the leaked documents suggest that Microsoft is planning to launch the next gen Xbox sometime in 2028, compared to the company's usual 7-year upgrade cycle. So, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll dig it up and see who said what, but I remember hearing it on someone else's channel. And I thought that
don't do that to me.
It would be so strange because then if that ever did happen, everyone would own PlayStations.
Yeah.
Like they should.
Like PC Master Race is going to like really take over.
Maybe.
I mean, I agree with the
honestly
thing,
I would Xbox does hold very little value to me because any game where I'm seriously interested, I would just get it on computer. So if I'm going to purchase a console, as I have for a decade now, I always go PlayStation because they have the only things they have, the only things that my computer doesn't. Switch too, but like, let's be real. You play Nintendo because there's 1 or 2 games specifically you want. And so you buy the console and that's that.
Yeah, I think we literally bought our Switches specifically for Pokemon.
Yeah. And I think there was some JRPG that I was stoked about too. A couple of them actually.
Which then came out on
Yes, eventually it did. I wasted my money.
So
I love you, Nintendo. Do better.
I think they just know their market and they're comfortable in it, which is a rare thing because a lot of these companies have had this tendency where they try to overly expand and it backfires on them so bad.
I think they also have that social niche of we are the family gaming company, right? You want to play games with your kids, you buy a Nintendo. Anyone over the age of 50 is like, what are you playing on that Nintendo?
Yeah, my mom for the longest time would call any system that I played on the Nintendo. It didn't matter if it was Xbox, PlayStation, whatever it was a Nintendo. Except for the computer. I guess she got that one right.
Sorry, Mom, if you're listening. Shade.
Love you.
That was actually, I wanted to look up the Super Mario Bros. Wonder for Switch. It's available on Switch. Obviously, it's a Super Mario game, and Nintendo, that's half the reason Nintendo keeps making consoles and succeeding is because they've done really well at protecting their flagship. What do they call those when a game's only on a specific exclusives?
Exclusive.
It won the 2023 Best Family Game. Wow, they updated their website fast. Best Family Game. Okay, so that's what it was, not specifically multiplayer. So I could. Oh, this is the Super Mario where he turns into an elephant.
Oh.
Yeah, and Luigi has like an enormous hat where he's paragliding, and there's like a caterpillar and stuff. Okay, well, you guys don't play Super Mario games. Got it.
It reminds me of Odyssey.
Yeah, well, Super Mario games.
Sounds like I need to play it because that sounds fantastic.
I wonder if this audio will come through. It's probably just going to blow out my eardrums. Next time I'll have a video pre-prepared, but this news, I actually just heard this news day of the recording for the podcast, so I wanted to just throw it out there. Best family game and best game of the year for the BAFTA awards. So that's actually all the topics that I had written down. So I think that's it.
I believe so. Welcome for, I'm going in reverse again. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Again, this is Maverick, Crystal, and JoJo. Take it easy.
See ya.
Bye.